Costa Rica stone spheres, perfect megaliths in the jungle, deep within the dense, lush jungles of Costa Rica, hidden beneath layers of moss, vines, and centuries of accumulated earth, lie some of the most enigmatic and perplexing artifacts of ancient human civilization. The Costa Rica stone spheres. These perfectly rounded megaliths, carved from hard, dense granite and other volcanic rocks, have baffled archaeologists, historians, and enthusiasts for nearly a century. Their origins, purpose, and the techniques used to create them remaining shrouded in mystery. Unlike the pyramids of Egypt, the stone heads of Easter Island, or the megaliths of Stonehenge, the Costa Rica stone spheres lack the grandeur of monumental architecture or the clear cultural context of a well-documented civilization. Instead, they are scattered across the landscape, lone sentinels of a forgotten past, each one a masterpiece of precision craftsmanship that defies the technological capabilities attributed to the ancient cultures that once inhabited this region of Central America. To stand before one of these spheres is to feel a profound sense of awe, not just at their size and symmetry, but at the mystery of their existence. Who created them? Why? And how, without the aid of modern tools, did they achieve such flawless roundness and polish? These questions have haunted researchers for decades, and while scientific advancements have shed some light on the stone spheres, many of their secrets remain unbroken, making them one of the most captivating unsolved mysteries of the ancient world. The story of the Costa Rica stone spheres begins in the 1930s, during the height of the United Fruit Company's operations in Costa Rica. As workers cleared vast swaths of jungle to make way for banana plantations, they stumbled upon strange, rounded stones emerging from the earth. At first, these stones were dismissed as natural formations, perhaps rounded by centuries of water erosion or volcanic activity. But as more and more spheres were uncovered, each with a near-perfect spherical shape and smooth, polished surface, it became clear that these were not natural objects. They were man-made, crafted with a level of precision that seemed impossible for a civilization without access to modern machinery. The first spheres were found in the Diquis Delta region, along the southern Pacific coast of Costa Rica, near the towns of Palmer Sur and Osa. Over time, more spheres were discovered in other parts of the country, including the provinces of Punta Arenas and Guanacaste. But the majority remain concentrated in the Diquis Delta, an area once home to the Diquis people, an indigenous group that thrived in the region before the arrival of Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century. Today, hundreds of stone spheres are known to exist, ranging in size from a few centimeters in diameter, small enough to fit in the palm of a hand, to over 2 meters in diameter, and weighing as much as 15 tons. The largest known sphere, discovered in the village of El Silencio, weighs an estimated 16 tons and stands over 2.4 meters tall, a testament to the skill and ambition of its creators. One of the most striking features of the Costa Rica stone spheres is their near-perfect roundness. When measured with modern tools, many of the spheres have a deviation from true spherical symmetry of less than 1 centimeter, even for the largest specimens. This level of precision is remarkable, especially considering the materials used and the lack of advanced technology available to the ancient craftsmen. The spheres are carved from a variety of rocks, including granite, diorite, gabbro, and basalt, all hard, dense stones that are difficult to shape even with modern tools. Granite, for example, has a Mohs hardness rating of 6 to 7, making it harder than most metals and resistant to scratching and erosion. To carve a sphere from such a material, the ancient craftsmen would have needed to use tools made from even harder materials, such as obsidian or diamond. But there is no evidence that the Dikwis people had access to diamond tools, and obsidian, while sharp, is not hard enough to easily cut through granite. This raises the first of many questions about the stone spheres. How did the ancient craftsmen shape these hard stones into perfect spheres without the aid of modern tools like lathes, power drills, or polishing machines? To understand the challenge of creating the stone spheres, it is important to consider the properties of the materials and the techniques that might have been used. The first step in creating a sphere would have been selecting a suitable rock. The ancient craftsmen likely chose large boulders of granite or other hard stones, either from local quarries or from riverbeds, where water erosion might have already smoothed the surface somewhat. Once a boulder was selected, the craftsmen would have needed to shape it into a rough, spherical form. This could have been done using a combination of hammering and chiseling, using tools made from obsidian, flint, or other hard stones. However, hammering a hard rock like granite with stone tools would have been a labor-intensive process, requiring hundreds or even thousands of hours of work. After shaping the rough sphere, the craftsmen would have needed to refine the shape and polish the surface to achieve the smooth, flawless finish seen in the surviving spheres. Polishing would have likely been done using abrasive materials, such as sand, grit, or other rough stones, rubbed against the surface of the sphere in a circular motion. Again, this process would have been extremely time-consuming, requiring immense patience and skill to ensure that the sphere remained perfectly round throughout the polishing process. Some researchers have proposed that the ancient craftsmen used a technique known as pecking and grinding to create the spheres. This involves using a hard stone tool to peck away at the surface of the boulder, gradually shaping it into a rough sphere, and then grinding the surface with abrasive materials to smooth it. While this technique is feasible, it does not fully explain the extreme precision of the spheres. Even with pecking and grinding, achieving a near-perfect sphere would require a high level of skill and a way to measure the symmetry of the sphere as it was being crafted. Without modern measuring tools, how did the craftsmen ensure that all points on the sphere were equidistant from the center? Some theories suggest that they used simple geometric principles, such as string and plumb lines, to measure the sphere's dimensions and ensure symmetry. For example, they might have tied a string to the center of the sphere and used it to check the distance from the center to various points on the surface, adjusting the shape as needed. While this is possible, there is no direct evidence to support this theory, and it remains a matter of speculation. Another mystery surrounding the stone spheres is their transportation. Many of the spheres were found far from the quarries where their stone was sourced. For example, some spheres made from granite were found in areas where there is no local granite, meaning that the boulders must have been transported from quarries located tens of kilometers away. Given the size and weight of the spheres, some weighing over 10 tons, this would have been a monumental feat for a civilization without access to wheels, horses, or other forms of mechanical transportation. How did the ancient craftsmen move these massive stones across rough terrain, through dense jungles, and over rivers? One theory suggests that they used log rollers, placing the boulder on a series of logs and rolling it along the ground. While this technique is used in many ancient civilizations to move large stones, it would have required a large number of workers and a great deal of effort, especially for the largest spheres. Another theory proposes that they used rafts to transport the spheres along rivers, but this would have been difficult given the size and weight of the stones, and there is no evidence of rafting technology being used for this purpose in the region at the time. Some researchers even suggest that the spheres were carved in place, using local boulders, but this does not explain the presence of spheres made from stone that is not native to the areas where they were found. The purpose of the Costa Rica stone spheres is another major mystery. Unlike many ancient artifacts, which have clear functional or ceremonial purposes, the stone spheres have no obvious use. They are not tools, weapons, or building materials. They are not part of any larger structure, such as a temple or monument, and they do not have any inscriptions or carvings that might provide clues about their purpose. Over the years, numerous theories have been proposed to explain their function, ranging from practical to mystical. One of the most common theories is that the spheres were used for astronomical purposes. Some researchers have noted that the spheres are often aligned with celestial bodies, such as the sun, moon, or stars, suggesting that they were used as a sort of ancient astronomical observatory. For example, some spheres in the Diquis Delta are arranged in patterns that align with the solstices or equinoxes, leading to speculation that they were used to track the seasons or predict astronomical events. However, this theory is controversial, as there is no definitive evidence that the spheres were intentionally aligned with celestial bodies, and many of the alignments could be coincidental. Another theory suggests that the stone spheres were used as status symbols or markers of power. In many ancient civilizations, large, impressive artifacts were created to demonstrate the wealth, power, and skill of a ruler or elite class. The stone spheres, with their massive size and precise craftsmanship, could have been a way for the Dikwis elite to display their status and authority. Perhaps they were placed outside the homes of powerful leaders or in public spaces to intimidate rivals and impress subjects. This theory is supported by the fact that the spheres are often found in clusters, suggesting that they were part of a larger settlement or ceremonial site. However, there is no direct evidence linking the spheres to specific individuals or social classes, and this theory remains speculative. Some researchers have proposed that the stone spheres had a religious or ceremonial purpose. In many indigenous cultures, round objects are symbolic of the sun, moon, or other celestial deities, and they are often used in religious rituals. The stone spheres could have been used as offerings to the gods, or as part of ceremonies related to fertility, harvest, or the afterlife. For example, some indigenous groups in Central America believe that round stones have spiritual power, and they are used in healing rituals or to ward off evil spirits. However, there is no evidence of ritualistic use associated with the stone spheres, and no artifacts or remains have been found near the spheres that would suggest they were used in religious ceremonies. Additionally, the Dikwis people, who are believed to have created the spheres, left no written records or oral traditions that mention the spheres or their purpose, making it difficult to confirm any religious or ceremonial function. A more practical theory suggests that the stone spheres were used as boundary markers or territorial symbols. The Dikwis Delta was home to several indigenous groups, and the spheres could have been used to mark the boundaries between different communities or territories. This would explain why the spheres are often found in clusters along rivers or other natural boundaries. However, there is no evidence that the spheres were used for this purpose, and many of the spheres are found in areas that do not correspond to known territorial boundaries. Another practical theory proposes that the spheres were used as weights or counterweights for lifting heavy objects, but their size and shape make this unlikely, as they would be difficult to handle and would not provide any significant advantage over other types of weights. Perhaps the most intriguing theory about the stone spheres is that they were part of a larger, more complex system, perhaps a network of markers used for navigation, or a symbolic representation of the cosmos. Some researchers have noted that the distribution of the spheres across Costa Rica corresponds to ancient trade routes, suggesting that they were used as navigation markers for travelers. Others have proposed that the spheres represent the stars or planets in a primitive astronomical model, with each sphere corresponding to a celestial body. While these theories are fascinating, they lack concrete evidence, and they are often dismissed by mainstream archaeologists as speculative. To understand the stone spheres, it is important to examine the culture that created them, the Dikwis people. The Dikwis were a pre-Columbian indigenous group that inhabited the southern Pacific coast of Costa Rica from approximately 500 BCE to 1500 CE. They were part of the Chibchan language family, which includes other indigenous groups in Central America and northern South America. The Dikwis were known for their advanced agricultural practices, their skill in pottery and metalworking, and their complex social structure. They lived in small villages and towns, built on raised platforms to avoid flooding in the Delta region, and they traded with other indigenous groups throughout Central America. However, unlike the Maya or Aztec, the Dikwis did not build large cities or monuments, and they left no written records, making it difficult to learn about their culture and history. Most of what we know about the Dikwis comes from archaeological excavations of their settlements, which have uncovered pottery, tools, jewelry, and other artifacts, but no evidence that directly links them to the stone spheres, except for the fact that the spheres are found in areas once inhabited by the Dikwis. Archaeological excavations of Dikwi settlements have revealed that the people were skilled craftsmen, capable of working with a variety of materials, including stone, pottery, and metal. They made tools from obsidian and flint, and they crafted intricate pottery with decorative designs. They also worked with gold and other metals, creating jewelry and other artifacts that suggest a certain level of wealth and social complexity. However, there is no evidence that the Dikwis had the technology or the skill to create the stone spheres with the precision seen in the surviving examples. This has led some researchers to propose that the stone spheres were created by a more advanced civilization, perhaps a lost civilization that predates the Dikwis, or even an extraterrestrial civilization. While these theories are popular among conspiracy theorists, they are not supported by any scientific evidence, and they are widely dismissed by mainstream archaeologists. One of the biggest challenges in studying the stone spheres is the lack of context. Unlike many ancient artifacts, which are found in tombs, temples, or other archaeological sites that provide clues about their purpose and origin, the stone spheres are often found in isolation, with no associated artifacts or structures. This makes it difficult to determine when they were created, who created them, or what they were used for. Radiocarbon dating has been used to estimate the age of the spheres, but this is challenging because the stone itself cannot be dated directly. Instead, researchers have dated organic materials found near the spheres, such as charcoal or pottery shards, which suggest that the spheres were created between 200 BCE and 1500 CE, a time when the Dikwis people were living in the region. However, this is only an estimate, and it is possible that some spheres are older or younger than this range. In recent years, scientific advancements have shed some new light on the stone spheres. For example, researchers at the University of Costa Rica have used 3D scanning technology to analyze the spheres, measuring their dimensions and symmetry with unprecedented precision. This technology has confirmed that the spheres are indeed nearly perfect, with some having a deviation from true spherical symmetry of less than 0.1%, a level of precision that is difficult to achieve even with modern tools. The 3D scans have also revealed tool marks on the surface of the spheres, providing clues about the techniques used to create them. For example, some spheres have circular tool marks that suggest they were polished using a rotating tool, which has led researchers to speculate that the ancient craftsmen used a primitive lathe-like device, perhaps powered by human or animal labor. However, there is no evidence of such a device being used by the Dikwis or any other indigenous group in Central America at the time. Another scientific breakthrough came in 2018 when researchers from the University of Pennsylvania used X-ray diffraction and other analytical techniques to study the composition of the stone spheres. They found that the spheres were carved from a variety of rocks, including granite, diorite, and gabbro, and that the craftsmen selected rocks with specific properties, such as a uniform texture and minimal impurities, to ensure that the spheres would be strong and easy to shape. The researchers also found that the spheres were polished using a combination of abrasive materials, including sand, grit, and crushed stone, which were rubbed against the surface of the sphere in a circular motion. This process would have required immense skill and patience, as even a small mistake could have ruined the symmetry of the sphere. Despite these scientific advancements, many questions about the stone spheres remain unanswered. For example, why did the Dikwis people go to such great lengths to create these objects? What was their purpose? And why did they stop creating them? Some researchers believe that the stone spheres were part of a larger cultural tradition that was lost when the Spanish conquistadors arrived in the 16th century, bringing with them disease, war, and colonization. The Dikwis people, like many indigenous groups in Central America, were decimated by European diseases such as smallpox, and their culture was largely destroyed. It is possible that the knowledge of how to create the stone spheres, along with their purpose, was lost with the death of the Dikwis elders and craftsmen. Another possibility is that the stone spheres were created for a specific purpose that no longer makes sense to us today. For example, they could have been part of a ritual or ceremony that was central to the Dikwis culture, but which we cannot understand because we lack the cultural context. Or they could have been used as a form of communication, with different sizes or arrangements of spheres conveying specific messages. Without written records or oral traditions, it is impossible to know for sure. The stone spheres have also become a source of cultural pride for Costa Rica. Today, many of the spheres are on display in museums, parks, and public spaces throughout the country, and they have become a symbol of Costa Rica's ancient history and cultural heritage. The Dikwis Delta, where most of the spheres are found, was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2014 in recognition of the importance of the stone spheres and the archaeological sites associated with them. This designation has helped to protect the spheres from looting and destruction, and it has brought international attention to this unique and mysterious artifact. However, the stone spheres face numerous threats. Looting is a major problem, as many of the spheres are located in remote jungle areas, making them vulnerable to theft. Some looters have tried to sell the spheres on the black market, where they can fetch high prices from collectors. Additionally, deforestation and development in the Diquis Delta have destroyed many of the archaeological sites where the spheres are found, and climate change has caused erosion and damage to the spheres themselves. To protect the stone spheres, the Costa Rican government has implemented strict laws against looting and destruction, and it has worked with international organizations to preserve the archaeological sites and educate the public about the importance of the spheres, in addition to their cultural and archaeological significance. The stone spheres have also captured the imagination of the public, inspiring books, documentaries, and even works of fiction. They have become a popular tourist attraction, drawing visitors from around the world to Costa Rica to see these mysterious megaliths firsthand. Many tourists visit the National Museum of Costa Rica in San Jose, where several of the largest and most well-preserved spheres are on display, or travel to the Diquis Delta to see the spheres in their original context. The stone spheres have also become a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that there are still many secrets in the world waiting to be uncovered. One of the most famous stone spheres is the Sphere of the Sun, which is on display in the National Museum of Costa Rica. This sphere, which weighs over 10 tons and has a diameter of 1.8 meters, is one of the largest and most perfectly round spheres ever discovered. It was found in the Diquis Delta in the 1930s, and it has become a symbol of Costa Rica's ancient heritage. Another famous sphere is the Sphere of the Moon, which is located in the town of Palmer Sur. This sphere is slightly smaller than the Sphere of the Sun, but it is equally impressive in its precision and craftsmanship. Over the years, numerous expeditions have been launched to explore the stone spheres and uncover their secrets. In the 1940s, the American archaeologist Doris Stone, daughter of the United Fruit Company executive, who first reported the spheres, conducted the first systematic study of the stone spheres, documenting their locations, sizes, and characteristics. Her work laid the foundation for future research, and she was one of the first researchers to propose that the spheres were created by the Diquis people. In the 1970s, another American archaeologist, John Hoops, conducted further research on the stone spheres, using new scientific techniques to analyze their composition and craftsmanship. His work helped to confirm that the spheres were man-made and that they were created by the Diquis people. But he also raised new questions about their purpose and the techniques used to create them. In recent years, a team of researchers from the University of Costa Rica and the University of Pennsylvania has launched a new expedition to study the stone spheres. Using advanced technology such as 3D scanning, X-ray diffraction, and ground-penetrating radar to uncover new clues about their origin and purpose. The team has discovered several new spheres in remote areas of the Diquis Delta, and they have found evidence that the spheres were part of larger settlements, with some spheres located near houses, plazas, and other structures. This suggests that the spheres were an integral part of Diquis society, and that they may have had a social or ceremonial function. One of the most exciting discoveries from this recent expedition is the finding of tool marks on the spheres that suggest the use of a primitive lathe. The tool marks are circular and evenly spaced, which is consistent with the use of a rotating tool. This has led researchers to speculate that the ancient craftsmen used a lathe-like device, perhaps made from a wooden frame and a stone wheel, powered by human labor. While there is no direct evidence of such a device, the tool marks provide strong circumstantial evidence that the craftsmen had developed a more advanced technique than previously thought. Another interesting discovery is the presence of small, circular indentations on some of the spheres. These indentations are uniform in size and shape, and they are located at regular intervals around the sphere. Some researchers believe that these indentations were used to attach ropes or handles to the sphere, making it easier to transport or manipulate. Others suggest that they were part of a decorative pattern, or that they had a symbolic meaning. However, the purpose of these indentations remains unclear. The study of the stone spheres has also led to a better understanding of the Diquis people and their culture. Archaeologists have found that the Diquis were more advanced than previously thought, with a complex social structure and a high level of craftsmanship. They were able to create large, precise artifacts like the stone spheres, which required a great deal of skill, labor, and organization. This suggests that the Diquis had a centralized government or a powerful elite class that was able to coordinate the creation and transportation of the spheres. It also suggests that the Diquis had a strong cultural identity, with the stone spheres serving as a symbol of their unity and skill. Despite the progress that has been made in studying the stone spheres, there are still many unanswered questions. For example, we do not know how many stone spheres were created, or how many have been lost or destroyed over the centuries. We do not know the exact techniques used to create the spheres, or how the craftsmen achieved such perfect symmetry. We do not know the purpose of the spheres, or why they were scattered across the landscape. And we do not know why the Diquis people stopped creating them, or what happened to the knowledge of how to make them. Some researchers believe that the answers to these questions may be found in future archaeological excavations. For example, if a Diquis settlement is found with a workshop where the spheres were created, it could provide clues about the techniques used and the purpose of the spheres. Or if a tomb or ceremonial site is found with the spheres, it could provide evidence of their religious or ceremonial function. However, archaeological excavations in the Diquis Delta are challenging due to the dense jungle, the high humidity, and the fact that many of the sites are located in remote areas. It may take years or even decades of research to uncover these clues. Another possibility is that new scientific techniques will be developed that can provide more information about the stone spheres. For example, advances in radiocarbon dating may allow researchers to date the spheres more accurately, or new imaging techniques may reveal hidden details on the surface of the spheres that have not been visible before. Additionally, genetic studies of the Diquis people may provide clues about their origins and their relationship to other indigenous groups, which could help to explain the creation of the stone spheres. The mystery of the Costa Rica stone spheres is not just a scientific or archaeological mystery. It is a human mystery. It is a mystery about the ingenuity, skill, and creativity of the ancient Diquis people, who were able to create something so beautiful and precise with limited resources. It is a mystery about the human desire to create, to express, and to leave a mark on the world. And it is a mystery about the unknown, about the things that we cannot yet explain, and about the secrets that the past holds. In many ways, the stone spheres are a metaphor for the human condition. They remind us that we are capable of great things, even when we have limited resources. They remind us that there is still much to learn about our past, and that the pursuit of knowledge is a never-ending journey. And they remind us that mystery is an important part of life, that the things we cannot explain are often the things that captivate us the most. As we continue to study the Costa Rica stone spheres, we're not just uncovering the secrets of an ancient civilization, we are also learning more about ourselves. We are learning about our capacity for creativity and innovation, about our desire to understand the world around us, and about our connection to the past. The stone spheres are a testament to the power of human ingenuity, and they will continue to inspire curiosity and wonder for generations to come. To fully appreciate the stone spheres, it is important to see them in person. Standing before a 10-ton granite sphere, perfectly round and smooth, carved by hand centuries ago, is an experience that is both humbling and awe-inspiring. It is a reminder of the skill and dedication of the ancient craftsmen and of the mystery that surrounds their creation. It is a reminder that the world is full of wonders and that there are still many secrets waiting to be uncovered. In conclusion, the Costa Rica stone spheres are one of the most mysterious and fascinating artifacts of ancient human civilization. Their perfect roundness, massive size, and unknown purpose have baffled researchers for nearly a century. And while scientific advancements have shed some light on their creation, many of their secrets remain unbroken. The stone spheres are a testament to the skill and ingenuity of the Diquis people, and they are a symbol of Costa Rica's rich cultural heritage. They remind us that there is still much to learn about our past, and that the pursuit of knowledge is a journey that never ends. Whether they were used for astronomical purposes, as status symbols, or for some other unknown function, the stone spheres will continue to captivate our imagination and inspire us to explore the unknown. As we continue to study these perfect megaliths in the jungle, we are not just uncovering the secrets of an ancient civilization, we are also connecting with our own humanity and with the mysteries that make life so fascinating. The story of the Costa Rica stone spheres is far from over. With new archaeological expeditions, advanced scientific techniques, and a growing interest in ancient civilizations, there is hope that one day we will unlock the secrets of these enigmatic artifacts. Until then, the stone spheres will remain a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that the past is full of surprises and that there is always more to discover. Whether you are an archaeologist, a historian, a tourist, or simply someone who is fascinated by ancient mysteries, the Costa Rica stone spheres have something to offer. They are a window into a forgotten world, a testament to human ingenuity, and a reminder that the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored. As we reflect on the stone spheres, we are reminded of the importance of preserving our cultural heritage. These artifacts are not just objects, they are a link to our past, a reminder of the people who came before us, and a source of inspiration for future generations. By protecting the stone spheres and the archaeological sites where they are found, we are ensuring that these mysteries will continue to be studied and appreciated for years to come. We are also ensuring that the story of the Diquis people and their remarkable craftsmanship will not be forgotten. In the end, the Costa Rica stone spheres are more than just megaliths in the jungle. They are a symbol of human potential, a reminder of our capacity for creativity and innovation, and a testament to the enduring mystery of the past. They challenge us to ask questions, to seek answers, and to never stop exploring. And they remind us that even in a world where we seem to know so much, there are still things that can surprise us, inspire us, and leave us in awe. To further explore the world of the Costa Rica stone spheres, it is helpful to examine the various theories and hypotheses that have been proposed over the years, as well as the evidence that supports or refutes them. One of the most controversial theories is that the stone spheres were created by extraterrestrial beings. This theory, which is popular among conspiracy theorists, suggests that the spheres are too perfect to have been created by humans, and that they were left by aliens who visited Earth in ancient times. However, there is no scientific evidence to support this theory, and it is widely dismissed by mainstream archaeologists. The tool marks on the spheres, the materials used, and the context in which they are found all point to human creation, and there is no evidence of extraterrestrial involvement. Another theory that has been proposed is that the stone spheres were created by a lost civilization that predates the Diquis. This theory suggests that the Diquis people found the spheres and used them for their own purposes, but did not create them. However, there is no evidence of a lost civilization in the region that was capable of creating such artifacts, and the stone spheres are consistent with the craftsmanship and technology of the Diquis people. Additionally, the radiocarbon dates of the spheres align with the time period when the Dikwis were living in the region, further supporting the idea that they were the creators. Some researchers have also proposed that the stone spheres were used as part of a system of water management. The Dikwis Delta is a wetland area prone to flooding, and the spheres could have been used to control water flow or to mark the location of water sources. However, there is no evidence that the spheres were used for this purpose, and their shape and size make them unlikely to be effective water management tools. Another interesting theory is that the stone spheres were used as musical instruments. Some researchers have noted that the spheres produce a resonant sound when struck, and they have suggested that they were used in ceremonies or rituals to create music. However, there is no evidence that the spheres were used for this purpose, and the sound produced by the spheres is not particularly musical. Additionally, there are no other artifacts or remains that suggest the Dikwis people used musical instruments made from stone. Despite the lack of evidence for these theories, they continue to be popular among enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists, highlighting the enduring allure of the stone spheres. The mystery of their creation and purpose is what makes them so fascinating, and it is this mystery that continues to drive research and exploration. In addition to the theories about their purpose, there is also much debate about the techniques used to create the stone spheres. Some researchers believe that the craftsmen used a combination of hammering, chiseling, and grinding to shape the spheres, while others suggest that they used more advanced techniques, such as heating the stone to make it easier to carve. However, there is no evidence that the Dikwis people used heating techniques to carve stone, and the tool marks on the spheres are consistent with hammering and grinding. Another question is how the craftsmen were able to achieve such perfect symmetry. Some researchers have suggested that they used a simple geometric method, such as tying a string to the center of the sphere and using it to measure the distance from the center to various points on the surface. This method would have allowed them to check the symmetry of the sphere as they were carving it, ensuring that it remained perfectly round. While this is a plausible method, there is no direct evidence that the craftsmen used this technique, and it remains a matter of speculation. The transportation of the stone spheres is another area of debate. Some researchers believe that the craftsmen used log rollers to move the spheres, while others suggest that they used sleds pulled by animals or humans. However, there is no evidence of sled tracks or animal remains near the spheres, and the dense jungle terrain would have made it difficult to use log rollers for large spheres. Another possibility is that the spheres were carved in place using local boulders, but this does not explain the presence of spheres made from stone that is not native to the areas where they were found. To address these questions, researchers have conducted experiments to replicate the techniques used to create the stone spheres. For example, a team of archaeologists from the University of Costa Rica attempted to carve a small stone sphere using the tools and techniques that the Dikwis people would have used. The team used obsidian tools to hammer and chisel a granite boulder, and they used sand and grit to polish the surface. While they were able to create a rough sphere, they were unable to achieve the level of precision seen in the ancient spheres, highlighting the skill and dedication of the Dikwis craftsmen. Another experiment involved transporting a large stone sphere using log rollers. The team used a 1-ton stone sphere and a series of logs, and they found that it took a team of 10 people to move the sphere a distance of 10 meters. This suggests that transporting a 10-ton sphere would have required a large number of workers and a great deal of effort. But it is possible that the Dikwis people were able to do this with their advanced social organization and labor force. The study of the stone spheres has also led to a better understanding of the Dikwis people's trade networks. The stone used to create the spheres comes from quarries located throughout Costa Rica, and some of the stone was transported over long distances. This suggests that the Dikwis people had an extensive trade network, allowing them to obtain materials from different regions. Additionally, the presence of pottery and other artifacts from other indigenous groups in Dikwi settlements suggests that they traded with other communities throughout Central America. Another important aspect of the stone spheres is their cultural significance to the modern indigenous people of Costa Rica. While the Dikwis people are no longer a distinct group, their descendants still live in the region, and they view the stone spheres as an important part of their cultural heritage. For many indigenous communities, the stone spheres are a symbol of their ancestors' skill and ingenuity, and they are treated with great respect. Some indigenous groups have even incorporated the stone spheres into their modern rituals and ceremonies, keeping the cultural tradition alive. In recent years, there has been a growing movement to involve indigenous communities in the study and preservation of the stone spheres. This movement recognizes that indigenous people have a unique perspective on the spheres, and that their knowledge and traditions can provide valuable insights into their purpose and origin. By working with indigenous communities, researchers can gain a better understanding of the stone spheres and ensure that their cultural significance is respected and preserved. The stone spheres have also become a symbol of environmental conservation in Costa Rica. The Dikwis Delta, where most of the spheres are found, is a fragile ecosystem, and deforestation and development have threatened both the spheres and the surrounding environment. By protecting the stone spheres, Costa Rica is also protecting the jungle ecosystem and the wildlife that lives there. This has led to a greater focus on sustainable development in the region, balancing the needs of tourism and economic growth with the preservation of cultural and environmental heritage. In conclusion, the Costa Rica stone spheres are a fascinating and mysterious artifact that continues to captivate researchers and the public alike. Their perfect roundness, massive size, and unknown purpose have made them one of the most intriguing unsolved mysteries of the ancient world. While scientific advancements have shed some light on their creation and origin, many questions remain unanswered. The stone spheres are a testament to the skill and ingenuity of the Diquis people, and they are a symbol of Costa Rica's rich cultural heritage. They remind us that there is still much to learn about our past, and that the pursuit of knowledge is a never-ending journey. As we continue to study and preserve these perfect megaliths in the jungle, we are not just uncovering the secrets of an ancient civilization, we are also connecting with our own humanity and the mysteries that make life so fascinating. The story of the Costa Rica stone spheres is a reminder that the past is full of surprises, and that even the most mysterious artifacts can teach us something about ourselves. Whether they were used for astronomical purposes, as status symbols, or for some other unknown function, the stone spheres are a testament to human creativity and innovation. They challenge us to ask questions, to seek answers, and to never stop exploring. And they remind us that in a world where we seem to know so much, there are still things that can inspire awe and wonder. As we look to the future, it is likely that new discoveries and scientific advancements will continue to shed light on the stone spheres. Perhaps one day we will know exactly who created them, why they created them, and how they achieved such perfect precision. Until then, the stone spheres will remain a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that the world is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and they will continue to inspire generations of researchers, enthusiasts, and dreamers to explore the past and unlock its secrets. In the end, the Costa Rica stone spheres are more than just rocks. They are a window into a forgotten world, a testament to human ingenuity, and a symbol of the enduring power of mystery. They remind us that the past is not just a collection of facts and dates. It is a living, breathing part of our history, full of stories, secrets, and surprises. And they challenge us to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep seeking the truth, no matter how elusive it may be. To fully understand the Costa Rica stone spheres, we must approach them with an open mind, combining scientific evidence with respect for the cultural heritage of the people who created them. We must recognize that while we may never know all the answers, the journey to understand these enigmatic artifacts is just as important as the destination. The stone spheres are a reminder that knowledge is not just about finding answers. It is about asking the right questions, challenging our assumptions, and embracing the mystery of the unknown. As we stand before these perfect megaliths in the jungle, we are reminded of the power of human creativity and the enduring legacy of ancient civilizations. The stone spheres are a gift from the past, a reminder of the skill, dedication, and ingenuity of the Diquis people. They are a symbol of hope, inspiration, and curiosity, and they will continue to captivate and inspire us for generations to come. In the end, the mystery of the Costa Rica stone spheres is not just about the artifacts themselves. It is about us. It is about our desire to understand the world around us, our connection to the past, and our capacity for wonder. And it is a reminder that even in an age of technology and scientific advancement, there are still things that can leave us in awe, reminding us of the beauty and mystery of the world we live in. The Costa Rica stone spheres are a testament to the fact that some mysteries are meant to be cherished, not just solved. They are a reminder that the world is full of wonders and that the pursuit of knowledge is a journey that never ends. Whether you are an archaeologist, a historian, a tourist, or simply someone who is fascinated by ancient mysteries, the stone spheres have something to offer. They are a link to our past, a source of inspiration for our present, and a reminder of the endless possibilities of our future. As we continue to study and preserve the Costa Rica stone spheres, we are not just protecting an artifact, we are protecting a piece of human history, a symbol of our shared humanity, and a reminder of the power of curiosity and innovation. The stone spheres are more than just megaliths in the jungle. They are a testament to the enduring spirit of human creativity, and they will continue to inspire and captivate us for years to come. In conclusion, the Costa Rica stone spheres are one of the most remarkable and mysterious artifacts of ancient human civilization. Their perfect roundness, massive size, and unknown purpose have baffled researchers for nearly a century. And while we have made progress in understanding their creation and origin, many questions remain unanswered. The stone spheres are a testament to the skill and ingenuity of the Diquis people, and they are a symbol of Costa Rica's rich cultural heritage. They remind us that there is still much to learn about our past, and that the pursuit of knowledge is a never-ending journey. As we continue to explore these perfect megaliths in the jungle, we are not just uncovering the secrets of an ancient civilization, we are also connecting with our own humanity and the mysteries that make life so fascinating. The stone spheres are a reminder that the past is full of surprises, and that even the most mysterious artifacts can teach us something about ourselves and the world we live in. They are a gift from the past, a source of inspiration for the present, and a reminder of the endless possibilities of the future. And they will continue to captivate and inspire us for generations to come.